house had a fire. It was burnt down. I think picked it up for like 22.5. I hit 18 in 1 year, then I hit 20 the next.
Wow.
And then this last year, 23. But this year, sky's the limit. The goal this year was 20 in Dauphin County in 2011.
Wow. Congratulations.
Do 40 flips this year. That's the goal. As soon as I meet you, and your first conversation, rate, I'm not sure which is a client, because why is that the most important thing? Like, I tell you, you can't spend rate at the grocery store. Yeah. I put one on a market. I'm telling you, it was on the market for 3 days. Yeah. And I had like 58 showings. People do not understand the importance of credit. So my private money lender, maybe like a week later, hey, how's things going? How's the progress? What do I say? Yeah. I'm like, things are good. Everything's good. Everything's good.
Welcome back to the Investor Unite podcast, where we talk all things real estate, business, and entrepreneurship.
If you are looking to ignite your real estate investing, then join us at Investors Unite.
And on today's episode, we have a special guest that has been crushing it within the mortgage industry, within real estate investing, wholesaling, flipping, new construction. Without further ado, got Jay Davis.
Big man.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so we met a while ago, and it's crazy to see your journey from, when I started out literally with nothing and you meeting me and my mom at your office, and now I see you doing development deals, just crazy stuff, and you're fixing flips, like the touches you put on them, the detail. It's like no one else is doing that stuff.
I can't take credit for it. I'm surrounded by a great team, so they get all the credit. And I can say the same thing about you, because I follow you on social media, and I remember that day we met, I don't even know, 5 years ago, and to see where you came. So, pat yourself on the back, because you're doing a great job and showing everybody else how it's done. But I love it. Get up, grind every day, and just try to change the world one house at a time.
Well, no, that's amazing. And we don't really know your story of like how you got into, I think it started with lending and then you got into real estate.
Got it. Yeah. So background's in lending. I've been in lending, maybe 19 years. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Started out with AmeriQuest Mortgage. So anybody's going to get in for a long time. Subprime lender. It was out of Lancaster. It was the days of Smile and Dial. You get there and there's like 300 leads and you just literally call all day.
Oh, shoot.
It was strictly refi business. You never met your customers. It was strictly just pounding phones and sales. Yeah. And that's kind of how I cut my teeth and got in. AmeriQuest was a lot of, again, subprime. This was before 08 when it crashed. I was actually there when it crashed. Like, I remember being there and black trucks pulled up and they came in there with boxes, men in suits, and said, pack your stuff, only take your personal and leave. Dang. Give us a nice severance, and put a TV screen on. The CEO said, we're going out of business. I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I got started, right in Lancaster County. It was very interesting. I was younger, a couple years out of college. I remember pretty much like a bullpit, 12, 15 guys in there just calling all day. Yeah. 2 guys in there looked like me. And I'll never forget, I'm in there calling, and you have to leave a lot of messages. So I'm like, hey, Jamar Davis, AmeriQuest Mortgage. And they pulled me aside and they said, listen, this is Lancaster County. Nobody's going to call Jamar Davis back. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I just, young and didn't really care. So I just kept going. Again, 300 calls a day. I wasn't getting any callbacks. Jeez. So we're talking a couple weeks, turned into months. And they're like, I'm trying to tell you, like, do you have a nickname? I said, I go by Jay. I always went by Jay. Mm-hmm. But, I was a professional now. So I went with, my government. Yeah. So the one day, I got to put gas in the car, had kids. I'm just like, let me try it. So I said Jay Davis, and phone rang off the hook.
That's crazy.
Everybody
so it's that one little thing.
Because Jamar is too ethnic for Lancaster County. Of course. And of course, I had, ego. I'm like, I'm not doing it, but it worked.
It's crazy because my parents, like, when they were naming us, they were thinking about that. Like, when you go to work and stuff, the name.
And that's something you have to be, conscious of, because some people have just crazy names. Yeah. But it's like when they're doing their kids a disservice by some of the names. But I figured, Jamari, I'm cool. But it was not.
We got this.
Work.
I still work this W-2 job. We got this one guy at my job. His name is Washi, and his last name is Hands. I was like, your parents did you so dirty.
They did him wrong.
Jeez. But you saying that, just like bringing the race into it, we thought about that even when we
created the partnership.
became business partners. Like sometimes the seller's going to sell to one certain person compared to the other, and we're like, we got the best of both worlds.
There's times like in the beginning when we were both going on the appointments and stuff, it was some obvious times when they would favor one over the other. And you could tell it was like the conversation was geared towards that person, which we didn't take offense to at all. We understand the business and how people can be.
I mean, it's the business, and you can get frustrated about it. But at the end of the day, we're here for business, and we hope people change at some point. But, all we can do is do our part.
Right.
I can remember I did a flip, West Hanover Township, and they wanted to move in ahead of time. And I, under normal circumstances, I typically do not do that, but I was still younger in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I do was a cop, and I was like, sure, why not? So 3 days before closing, we signed the paperwork, the pre-settlement, and they move in. So there was an electric issue we wanted to fix before closing. So day of closing, me and my electrician go by. Actually, it was Noah, honestly, crazy.
Oh, yeah?
And
That's funny.
there's like, Confederate flags and some Confederate statues. I'm like, oh, come on. So I'm like, I'm not going to closing until after they sign. Because I didn't want them to pull a deal.
Right.
So I waited till and this is a cop in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Bigger problem. So I waited till they were done signing, and I walk in, and you should have saw the shock in their face. But it was like, hey, and I mean, even townships that I'm developing and building in, there's times that I won't go to the township meetings because I'm not going to risk being told no. So I'll have to send somebody else that, looks like Skylar because I'm not running the risk of them saying no because how I look, which again, it's sad and it's terrible, but it's also it's our reality.
Yeah. I appreciate you making light on that too, because like we talk about it, they don't talk about this type of stuff or have the courage to talk about it, which it needs to be out there,
No, it's real, and it happens all the time. So it's like, at the end of the day, you play the game or you don't.
Right.
And I'm here to make money, but I'm also here to try to make change. So it's like, I'm developing, and I have the township meeting, and I know my chances are way better with my engineer going versus me. It's an engineer. So.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha. So you said you went to college, right? Did you graduate?
Yes, Penn State. Penn State alumni, bleed blue and white.
Nice. Congratulations.
So thank you.
So what got you into mortgaging?
So when I first started college, I was actually an elementary ed major. Everybody was like, male teachers are always in demand. So I was like, cool. So first year or two, I was in the elementary ed. Then I was just like, I like business. I like money. So I switched to a business major. My major is marketing and management. Took some business classes, loved it. Didn't love the marketing side as much. Graduated college. I always had a passion for kids. So I worked as a TSS. I worked jobs with kids.
Okay.
And then I had my son at the time, and I'm just like, all my patience is burned out dealing with these kids during the day. I have no left for mine. I need something different. And, I always liked real estate. My dad had a background in real estate. I've always liked real estate, and I just want to combine real estate and money. Right. So I said, let's do this mortgage thing. So that's when I started at Ameriquest. So I saw it on the subprime side. So then years later, I started working for Wachovia Bank, which is now Wells Fargo. Oh, so I did mortgage for them. So I've got to see now I'm on the corporate side. Yeah. So I did that for a couple of years as well, just to kind of see the the difference. So I just love it. I never look back. At the end of the day, like my whole goal is to, actually the reason I brought my work from Lebanon to Harrisburg, which I'm jumping ahead, is I want to provide home ownership for our underserved community that don't think that they can own homes. So for, and I'll, sell a home to anybody, but specifically people that look like me and you, who parents never owned home. The number one way to wealth is real estate. Yeah. Point blank.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Period. So if you don't have access to that, you're way behind the 8 ball. Yeah. So, and to me, it's a lack of education. It's a lack of, if my parents or grandparents never owned a home, I don't know the steps to take. I had a guy sitting in my office, nice guy, black guy. My man had like 20 grand in the bank. He worked at FedEx, made like 77 grand, 700 credit score. And he's like, yeah, I'll buy a house in a couple of years. I'm not ready yet. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah. He's like, I'm just not ready yet. I got to save up. I'm like, no, you can buy right now. You can buy right now. So a lot of people, they just don't know. Right. And the ones that don't know, you just got to teach them and take them from point A to point B. And there's a lot of, first-time home buyers programs that will give you information. Yeah. But information is useless if you don't apply it. Right. So you can have all the information in the world, but if you don't, the application of it is what gives it power. And so many people, well, they said I need this, but they don't put the pieces together. So that's why, we come in. I've done a lot of, home buyer classes in the Harrisburg area.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing was Lebanon. I'm working in Lebanon. Now I left the bank. I'm private sector, working for one of my boss at the time at the bank. Mm-hmm. We saw the writing on the wall. We knew Wells Fargo was coming in, and we knew they were cleaning up shop. So we started a financial services firm. And we were dealing with a lot of like budgeting and trying to help small businesses, kind of like what SCORE is supposed to do, helping small businesses get funding, things like that. And we saw that, the people that make under $100,000 a year are the ones that really need the budgeting help and how to allocate their money. So, because you go to a bank, if you don't make enough, you don't have enough money in your account, you're just a number. And I worked at the bank, I saw it. So it's like, let's do something different. And reached out to the first-time homebuyers class in Lebanon because I wanted to volunteer. At the end of the day, there's a lot of clients base that are minority. My business partner was Spanish. She was like, I'll teach a class in Spanish. You can teach classes in English. And they would not let us volunteer because we had a for-profit company.
Wow.
So I explained to them, like, I'm not charging you.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can't volunteer. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like in Lebanon, like with flipping the doors were just shut.
Yeah.
So I had way more success. I mean, I had office in Reading for a while, and then I came to Harrisburg. So I just had way more success. Doors are open here. So it's
I see why you make that drive.
Yeah, I'll make the drive. Yeah. I mean, now Lebanon's different. I'll say the good. I'll say the bad. I'll say the good. And I did some flips in Lebanon, and after that, I'm like, I'm cool. I'm done. But thanks to my buddy Noah.
Shout out to Noah Star.
Noah Star. He was like, Jay, Noah, Lebanon's growing, Lebanon's changing. Like, let's do it. Give it a shot. So now I'm back. So now, I'm, flipping in Lebanon, and again, that's where I live. That's where my kids went to school. So at the end of the day, trying to make the community better one home at a time and trying to provide home ownership.
So when did you move to Harrisburg? Like what year did you start? Because that was your credit repair company, EM Mortgage?
I brought my office to Harrisburg probably around when I met you. I want to say 6 years ago, maybe about 6 years ago. I had a good friend in Harrisburg. At the time, he had a car dealership. So he was sending me so many credit repair clients.
Yeah.
And, the reason I got into credit repair was because I graduated college, wanted to buy a house, 580 credit score. I didn't know what to do, and there was nowhere to go. Like, back then, looking at the yellow pages, who helps with credit? Right. And, if your parents don't know or uncles don't know, like, what do you do?
Right, they didn't have YouTube back then.
Yeah, exactly. There was no YouTube, so it was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I remember I was 24, bought my first house, got smoked, absolutely smoked. 7.5% interest rate. Adjustable rate.
Oh, not adjustable.
It was a 228 with a 3-year prepay, so you're screwed from jump.
And what year is this?
This was probably 04.
Oh, okay.
I know it went from 7.5 to 12.5.
Dang.
And I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, almost lost it, almost went to foreclosure. And it's like, this should not be allowed. And there was no prerequisites like, hey, before you do this, before you sign this, there was no real education. Yeah. And realtors, nothing against them, but some are more educated than others. And it was just like, so that's one of the reasons. I do what I do because of what I've been through, and I want to make sure nobody else goes through that. So I try my best to give back. I try my best to educate and help because, I've seen what I went through. So, and I know credit people need a second chance. Credit repair people need a second chance. Life happens. Medical bills, car accident, divorce. People need a second chance. And there's not many places to go forward.
Yeah, just kind of touch base on that. I mean, we're at the age range now where a lot of our friends that we grew up with, they're getting to that point in time where they're like, I want to go buy a house, whatnot. And they see what Stephanie and I do. I don't really post too much on social media, but they see that I'm partnered with her because she posts everywhere. So they'll reach out to me depending on if I was close to them in school or if she was. And they all have the same mindset of I need 20% down. I need my credit score to be a 750 or above. And I always tell them no, there's so many different options. Are you a veteran? VA loans at 0% down, FHA, first time home buyer, 3.5% down.
So
there's
many programs
USDA.
People don't know about them. So
exactly.
From lenders like myself or to realtors, we have to find a way to getting the word out to the mainstream. I mean, I have conventional programs with 3% down, to, like you said, USDA, VA, 0% down, FHA 3.5%. And there's so many programs. But yeah, there is the misnomer, I need 20% down conventional. No, I can do it at 3%, 5%, 10%. I can do whatever. But if people don't know that, then they don't, you know what I mean, they're still saving or they're discouraged. And the way rent is right now, it's like, you're going to be in a bad situation. I mean, to me, again, I'm biased, of course, but I eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. Yeah. So when everybody is a good time to buy? Yes, it's always a good time to buy. Yeah. Always.
Yeah, buy as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly. and I invest in a lot of things from stock, crypto, whatever.
Yeah.
I stand by the best investment is real estate because no matter what, everybody needs a place to live.
It's true. And I feel like I have this discussion with other people all the time, whether to go into stocks or to go into real estate or whatever else, Forex, you know, that kind of stuff. And I always tell them, like, my one main argument against them going into stocks, which I don't completely disagree with, obviously diversify your portfolio as much as possible. Yep. Exactly right. But you have control over the real estate you buy. Right. You don't have control over the stock market. Like, that thing could just plummet 20% one day, right? Completely out your control.
Agreed.
Right. Obviously, buy more when it does plummet. Real estate
can drop. I mean,
real estate can drop.
It's not
but if you hold long term, you're
exactly.
You got to hold 100%.
Same situation with stocks, though, right? Like,
you hold long term.
That is true.
You hold into the S&P 500 for 20 years, you're not going to lose money. Right. Like, it's never happened before, right?
Again, I'm partial to it, but I just think real estate's a safer bet.
Right. Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But again,
I feel safer.
You also have to do it the right way. Now, again, we're in a different age where you can go educate yourself on YouTube. You can find a mentor. So me, it was through struggle. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. It was through struggle. I'm telling you, the first one I flipped. It was a package deal. It was like a lease purchase for the house I was going to live in, and it came with this nice city home. I'll never forget, $42,000. And I'm looking at comps are like 100, 110. I'm like, 42, I'll take it. Yeah. I probably needed like 30 grand worth of work. So I'm like, cool, we'll do it. Yeah. I pulled a home equity out on my townhouse, my first house that I bought. I pulled a home equity loan. Never forget. Met the contractor. I don't even know how I met him. He was referred by somebody, met the contractor. We walked through it. Boom, boom, boom. We signed a contract. I gave him a check for 15 grand. Never saw him again.
Jeez.
Never saw him again.
You had a contract with him.
And you got to A, find them to enforce it, and B, you got to have something to get.
Right.
So yeah, it was all bad. So that did put a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, all right, Jay, is this what we really want to do?
Yeah, it's 15 grand. I mean, you were still younger at this time.
So it was a lot.
That's gonna be a big hit.
Yeah. That was serious. I'm still paying the monthly payments on the home equity. Yeah, it was serious. But what I learned from it is try to find a way to mitigate your risk. So when I jumped back into it, I had a partner. So if I had a partner then, it would only been 7,500 for 7,500. So when I jumped back into the games, I was had a bad taste in my mouth for a little while. But then when I decided to jump back in, first one, it was house had a fire. It was burnt down. I think picked it up for like 22.5. I went to PSCCU and got 20 signature line of credit for 25. Partner went got 25, so we had 50, so we had to buy, and then we had, the majority of, back then it was 25 that got a lot done. Nowadays it wouldn't. Yeah. But that was the first one. Yeah. And it worked out. So I was like, okay, I like this. I can do this. So then I started doing like one every like 6 months. And then, I know I hit 18 in 1 year, then I hit 20 the next.
Wow.
And then this last year at 23. Dang. But this year, sky's the limit. The goal this year was 20 in Dauphin County and 20 in Lebanon County.
Wow.
So Congratulations.
I'll do 40 flips this year. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Did you have a mentor to teach you, the flipping game, or is it just like...
trial and error. So honestly, it's going to sound crazy because now, it started getting towards... So the last couple of years, Jerry Norton. If you don't follow Jerry Norton and you're in this game, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. Now, you have your goats out here. Like, I follow, the Herrick Brewers. There's the people out here to do it. But I'm telling you, I have learned more from Jerry Norton than anybody, anybody. But no, I didn't have a mentor, so it was just off the hustle. Again,
YouTube University.
I lost the 15 grand, and it was just trial and error. And it was just learning. I had another contractor smoke me because it was like, I didn't know anything about construction. No construction background, so they could tell me whatever they want. So I had to learn. My friend of mine, he told me, he was just like, listen, we start buying books, we just start studying. Yeah. And then he actually bought a property with his own money just to do it himself.
I don't know.
Like, knew nothing about construction. Yeah. He was like,
Gotta figure it
just
out.
learn. We'll just figure it out.
Right.
Now, he doesn't mind getting his boots on dirty. That's not my thing. I mean, I try to stay clean and stay pretty.
Delegate that
But
out.
I'm just like, I had to teach myself enough so I wouldn't get smoked by contract. So now I walk through a house, I don't need a contractor. I can walk through a house and I'm going to give you a quote of what my rehab budget is. And I'm telling you, within a couple grand, I'm in. And that's just like, just from experience. But it took a while to get there. I did have I had a sales mentor. The guy I worked at the bank with and the guy we started the financial service. I had a sales mentor. So, taught me sales, taught me a lot. And then through that company, we had started doing flips in the Reading area. So I kind of saw what he was doing. And then I saw like what not to do. Like he had the contractors living at the properties. Like it was some wild stuff. So So I've had mentors that I learned, what not to do. And and again, my dad, like, the more I think about it now, because I was young, like my dad was in the game, my dad was flipping, my dad was doing assignments and wholesales before it was even called that. This was back in Baltimore, then even here. So I remember times like, listen, we're against the deadline. He had me and my brothers go and draw. It was a Sunday. We're drywalling a house.
Yeah.
So it's like, I used to get hands on. That's not the goal anymore. I'll let everybody know if I have to get dirty, something has gone grossly wrong. Yeah. Something has gone really, really wrong if I have to go and pick up some tools. It happens at times. We try not to let it happen.
Right.
But
save a buck here and there.
Yeah. Or just because typically it's we're past a deadline. Like I'm a deadline guy. Again, I try to use my business approach to, the flips. Like, here's the deadline, here's what I need to be, and you promised me it's done on this day, and this was a number. So any day after this, we're coming back, we're subtracting from the number. Right. Everybody has to be held accountable because you take too long. I'm the only one losing. I'm paying the interest. Why am I the only one losing? We're in this together. Yeah. You got to hold everybody accountable.
Like you lose, I lose too.
That's the way it works.
That's a good way to look at it, actually.
That is good to look at it.
If we would have did that with some of our former contractors, we could have saved.
So not all contractors will agree. So I've had contractors. I can't do that. All right, then. See you next time.
Yeah.
We'll
go find someone who can.
Yeah.
Right.
Now with the flips, like, what's your turnaround times?
So I used to do a lot more gut jobs. Down to the studs and stuff. So I've had some take 3 months. Yeah. Lately, I've been pretty blessed. A lot of mine lately are more cosmetic. So I'm turning some in 3 weeks. 30 days is the number.
Right.
Even if we got to take a wall out, add a bathroom, add a kitchen, I look at it like, you're there full time. You got 3 or 4 guys. Not unless something has gone wrong or there's some unforeseen things. Yeah. We should be good in 30 days. So 4 to 6 weeks is key. Right. When I meet a contractor and they walk a property and start talking about 90 days, no, we have a problem. So my turn time is usually I'd say 4 to 6 weeks. And lately, it's been, closer to the 4 because, I got a good crew right now that's just, churn and burn.
And
so do you...
Oh, go ahead. We do this all the time.
Yeah. So do you pick out the materials still as well to, like, design the property, or do you kind of leave this in the contractor's hands?
It's changed through years. So, like, if I'm really, if I have a good relationship with the contractor and we have the trust build up, yes, but then I've had some that have like no vision. So so right now it's pretty much turnkey. I'm pretty much using the same thing. So now the contractor knows. I get this, and this because we use the same thing every time. Right. Then I get, my colleagues saying, hey, you got to switch it up, do something different. I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It works, right?
Right now we're still in a low inventory market. Yeah. Whatever I put out sells. So, but actually you'll see. So stay tuned because there's one that should be done next week that we kind of switched up a little bit. So every once in a while. But I'm a systems guy, which I never was before. That's another shout out to Noah. It's all about systems and process because I just go. That's right. So I'm learning that from him. Let's get the systems and the process. Because at the end of the day, it will make life a lot easier.
So much easier.
But again, I'm running a credit repair company. Mortgage, my 9 to 5. Let's tell everybody. My 9 to 5 is mortgages.
Okay, the mortgages.
The loan officer. That's like my career. I would say.
Yeah.
Right. And then the flips was a part-time thing. Because remember, I told you it was one every 6 months.
Right.
I didn't foresee it being 20 a year. Yeah. And then we got the credit repair. Right now, we have about 200 clients under management. Mm-hmm. And then last year and a half ago, I started a construction company. JT Construction. We do a lot of jobs for the city of Harrisburg. Okay. So, when I see when I see a need, I just try to fill the need. And I saw a need there, so I started the construction company. What else do? I do some financial coaching. I do that as well, kind of just jumped into that. With my sister, Strength, Love, Motivation, she has her own practice. She's a psychotherapist, has her own practice. And she kind of branched out to the coaching and pulled me along. So I do some financial coaching. So
nice.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go
busy
all
guy.
the time. And meanwhile, raising kids, one just graduated. So,
Still hitting the gym every day.
Oh, that's I'm telling you, between therapy and the gym, if it wasn't for that, I'd go nuts. I'd go nuts. You have to, if you take anything from today, take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health.
Yeah. So I always like asking guests like days in the life. So like, what's your typical day in the life with all these different businesses?
Oh my. A typical day, wake up like 5-ish. Try to hit the gym first. I try to start my day with the gym.
Yeah.
Run home, shower quick, head to Harrisburg. In the interim, answering calls, answering texts, answering emails. Do Not Disturb has been my best friend ever. I've never used it before. I know, I'm 44, so I'm the whole technology. I never used Do Not Disturb until recently. And it's a lifesaver. Yeah. I have clients that will text me 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Hey, I just sent you an email. Hey, I sent you my pay stubs. No, what are you doing? Yeah. I don't care what shift you work.
It's like, why are you up?
No, it's wild. It's wild. So that's how I kind of protect my peace as well. But yeah, go to the office, checking in on with the credit clients. I try to get to the properties once or twice a week, or the contractors, calling me, texting me, sending me pictures. A typical day. Then I'm checking on my mortgage clients, putting fires out, and calling all my people, say what's going on, what do you need from me, what do we have to do here. So yeah, it's managing from the mortgages to the credit to the flips. If I have a financial coaching client, then we'll do that. Just go. And my youngest just graduated, so she's at school. So when my son lives in Lancaster, but when the girls are home, I try to be home at a decent time so I can spend time with the kids, because work-life balance is important, and I didn't always realize that. It took me a while to realize that.
Yeah.
But I try to make a clear delineation. So like this weekend, my daughter graduated, and there was nothing in the world that's going to stop me from being there and being present. And I lost a client. Client reached out on Saturday, and I always have my laptop with me. So she was up getting dressed with her friends and stuff. So the one I did the pre-approval, put the offer in, we got the offer, it was wonderful. But the other one, had some questions, and I addressed them, and they wanted more questions. And, we can't get into this kind of detail right now, but, it's a Saturday afternoon. I'll get back to you on Monday.
Right.
And then I get a text an hour later, we're going to find another lender. And, maybe a few years ago, it would have hurt a little bit, but like, I'm cool. Like I said, you gotta protect your mental peace. Like, at the end of the day, I'm cool. Like, is that the client you really want to work with anyway? You know what I mean? Like, yo, come on. So it's like,
it's like the market ain't that hot right now.
No, I'm telling you, when you get to the point, and I'm not saying nothing, good about myself, but when you get to the point where you can fire your clients and you be okay with it, you're cool. Like, it's like, no, like.
It just brings you a piece of sanity.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, when I was younger, I would struggle with it because it was a dollar sign. It's
people pleaser.
And I see the dollar sign leaving. Yeah. And it's just like, I have to justify that. And when I was younger, I couldn't. But now it's like, because I know you do good, you put good out, there's going to come back. Right. So for that one client that left, I'll get 5 more. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Because that was going to be a headache the whole way. So you can be somebody else's headache. I can't do it.
Yeah. So I want to touch base a little bit, kind of dive deep into like mortgages actually. Since you've been doing it 19 years, you said, right? Sir. So what's going on with the market? What's new? You got an update for us? Interest rates are kicking our butt.
The market update. Before we had anticipated some rate drops. Right. Supposed to be a few this year. I think 6 was the number. Still waiting for it.
I heard
your guess is as good as mine.
I've heard that dropped a little bit.
So, at the end of the day, it's all relative. Right. So, I tell everybody, like, people that harp on rate, if as soon as I meet you and your first conversation, rate, I'm not sure what you're a client, because why is that the most important thing? Like, I tell you, can't spend rate at the grocery store. So what I do is, you tell me what's important to you, and where do you want your monthly payment to be? So if you tell me, hey, Jay, I want my monthly payment to be $1,500 a month, PITI, principal, tax, and insurance, $1,500 a month, boom, 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 boom. And I give you that. Yeah. And then you ask me about rate. What are we doing? You just told me for you to live comfortably and you don't want to be house poor and no payment shock. You need to be at $1,500 a month, and I got you. And you want this cash to close.
Right.
So I gave you the cash to close you want. Mm-hmm. I gave you the payment you want. Why are we talking about rate? Because somebody, your Aunt Sally said, make sure you get this rate. Like, no, I've done this in my office, and the client said, what about the rate? And the realtor, what about the rate? Shut up. Like, they didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing it up. They're not bringing it up.
That's a good perspective to look at it.
And I've also had clients too. Like, listen, what's your rate now? Oh, I pay rent. Okay, so your rate's 100%. Okay, bet. I guarantee to be lower. Like, no, I'm not harping on rate. We're not doing it because I mean, historically, they're still low. Yeah, there was rates at 13, 16, 17. So historically, they're still low. Yeah. And again, is at the end of the day, it's like, we got spoiled when they were artificially low. When they were at the 2s and 3s, everybody got spoiled.
Oh, yeah. So it's basically like free money at that point.
100%. So now it's like people expect that. Like, no, that's not reality. And we knew all good things come to an end. That was going to come to an end, and it's done. Yeah. So I to answer your question, I think we'll float around the high 6, low 7 for a while. Yeah. I mean, we might hit low 6. I don't see us going in the 5s anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, but the market is strong. Our problem is there's not a lot of inventory. Yeah. So it's like at the end of the day, as soon as a nice house hits the market, you're going to have 10, 15, and 20 offers. Which is bad for the buyer, especially the buyer they can't bridge an appraisal gap. Yeah. You know what I mean? They really need inspections. So it's bad for the buyer, but it's good for the seller. So me, when I'm flipping houses out, my house going to market, I'm good. Yeah. I put one on the market in Elizabethtown. First time. I never dealt with Elizabethtown. First time. I'm telling you, it was on the market for 3 days. Yeah. And I had like 58 showings.
No way.
Got 33,000 over asking. Jeez. No inspections.
Wow.
So I'm loving it.
Yeah. So you're still seeing buyers coming to the table, no contingencies?
Oh my goodness, all the time. If it's the right house in the right neighborhood, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, we are getting back to the normal market where, because remember, there was no seller help for a while. Because why? I mean, if you need seller help and you don't, why am I going to go to you? Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I am seeing some situations if the house is an older house, dated house, been on the market for a little while, then there's some seller help there. You can negotiate. You have a strong agent, negotiate it, maybe check the comps in the area, and they might bump the price up. Yeah. That way the seller doesn't feel it. So there's ways to do it. But yes, it's still a short, small inventory market. Gotcha. And I don't see that changing. And that's one of the reasons, we do we do a new construction too. Yeah. So that flip I was telling you about where they had the little Confederate statues, that one I had bought it on an acre, and I checked with the township, and you only need half-acre lots. So it's like, okay, flip this, subdivide it, and then build. Right. So then, I mean, once I start researching that, and I met a nice builder, so I'm like, why not just start? Why not build? Right. And then, I found a nice partnership with a nice local builder, and we just been rocking and rolling from there. So, I mean, new construction, we probably do maybe 5 or 6 a year. I mean, they take a little longer, but it's like...
Is it just single-family homes as well?
Yeah, single-family home. I mean, we'll switch up a little bit, but typically same style, single-family home, and it works. Nothing crazy, nothing too intense, a decent price range.
What's the typical cost to build like a single-family home, and then what's like the resale value of that?
Cost to build, I'm saying 1,800 square foot, bi-level, one-car garage. I'm probably going to be in at like 230, and resale will depend on location because I'm not saying over township I can get 400. Right. But there's other townships where we're at 350. Yeah. I mean, the building thing works. The building thing works a lot. It works way better than I had anticipated.
Right. Yeah. And have you thought about just not doing single family, but also doing multifamily on top of that?
So when I looked at doing that, it was actually Pembroke. I found some land in Pembroke, and I had looked at some like garden style apartments a few years ago. I didn't like the numbers. I didn't like the numbers because my thing is I'm not a buy and hold guy. Yeah. If I'm a buy and hold guy, that would make sense. Right. But to me, it was way easier to sell a single family home than an apartment complex. Yeah. Now things are changing. I had a very bad taste for rentals, so I have a rental in Lebanon. Me and one of my buddies had bought it, put a tenant in, long-term tenant, very, very nice. And to this day, she's there, Section 8. I love it. Yeah. That one was okay. But I had a couple that when '08, when the crash hit, I had to short sale. I'm like, I just had issues. And then tenants, like, I don't like chasing my money, especially if it's a little money.
Right.
So it was a husband and wife, and the wife left. Dude was down and out, and he started shooting up dope, and he had pit bulls in there. So, like, I would go knock on the door, and I hear the pit bulls barking. I'm like, bro, I'm not going in there. And he wasn't paying. And it's like the way the game is. Like, you don't pay, so you don't pay me rent. And I got to pay somebody to come serve you papers and pay to get you out, all the while you destroy my investment. Like, yo, come on. Like, and then from a single-family standpoint, my mortgage is on, $800. I'm renting it at $1,100 back then, so I'm making $300. That is $3,600 for the year.
Yeah.
So now I got to change carpet. I was like, oh, I'm cool, and it's just like, it was a headache. It was a hassle.
Yeah.
So this was years ago. So I was like, I'm done with it. So then it was the end of COVID. 2-unit, Dairy Street, Pax Tang, so it wasn't the city, it's right on the edge. I was like, okay, this makes sense. 120. My realtor brought it to me, $125,000. Down upstairs was renovated. Downstairs had a tenant that was paying like $1,000 a month. $125,000. I'm thinking I can get 13 upstairs. Like it seems like a win.
Yeah.
So I buy it. Found out that I was completely lied to by the seller. It was roach infested. It was rodent and I told the downstairs tenant, why didn't you tell me? Like, I walked through the house. I talked to you. Hey, I'm going to be the new landlord. She's like, hi. At no point did you give me a heads up, a wink, like, bro, like nothing.
That sucks.
So I put a family in there, and I felt bad. It was a pregnant woman. And at this point, I didn't know it was like rodent and roach infested until they told me. And it's a pregnant chick and her husband and kids. I'm like, I can't do that. So they left. So, I had the pest control in there, like just trying to get it cleaned out.
Right.
And I had another tenant in there, and, he wasn't paying. And it's like, yo, I'm not chasing, $1,200 every month. And then you go to court. And, you learn as you go, but, you have a 12-month lease. The lease isn't up. The judge is like, we'll give him a pay and stay. As long as he pays in, 15 days, he can stay. Now he's 3 months behind. What are we doing? And then he's not going to pay. Then I got to refile and then come back. So, like, I just like, I'm cool. I can't do it. But then I have friends and colleagues and Noah who's, $25, $30. And I'm thinking, I could be on the beach and the money's rolling in. So I do want to get back into it, but I'm definitely going to prefer multifamilies. I don't know about single family home, but 3-4 unit because it starts to make sense. Yeah. But I told Noah, he swears by it. So I'll definitely jump back in. But I just had bad experience with the whole landlord thing. Yeah. But to your point earlier, management company. So I would just, I would not manage myself all the time. Yeah. I would 100% do that. That's the only way I would do it. Right. Because I don't have the time and energy.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're still in, obviously, the beginning stages of building our rental portfolio. So we do self-manage, and we've definitely had our ups and downs and situations with tenants. But I'd say, knock on wood, for the most part, we haven't had anything terrible happen yet. And granted, we do a lot of Section 8 and newly refugees, actually. So they're moving all into Harrisburg, whatnot. So we got plugged in with the one guy. It was actually a buddy of mine from a while ago. But he helps, find them housing and everything. So anytime we got a unit ready, he's got, like, people lined up, like, ready to go. Yeah. And they're paying even higher than Section 8 at times. That's crazy.
So is it a company funding it as far as the rent?
Well, it's through the city, but yes. Okay. Exactly. No, so you're not really relying on the tenants too much.
Okay. And so I guess I'm calling y'all.
Right, exactly. And the other kind of benefit to it is these refugees, they don't even speak English. So they're not calling us. They're not texting us.
We don't even know what they're saying.
I'm plugging in.
Right. So they got to go through a caseworker, and the caseworker reaches out to me, and obviously they're a lot more professional than a lot of these tenants will be. So it's a very kind of smoother, simpler process or system that we've experienced. So
I like that a lot.
Check that out.
I'm going to tap in with y'all. So let me ask you another question, because I know something else is hot. What about this squatter shit? What would you do? So
we haven't dealt with any squatters, knock on wood.
So you mean like if we were to purchase a rental property and there's already squatters in the property?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the laws benefit the tenants and laws benefit squatters, which is ridiculous. Like I've seen this stuff happen in New York. Like it's wild to me. Like I don't know what I would do. Yeah. Like I know what I would do, but I don't. It's probably frowned upon with the law. But it's like no, like I'm not. You got people paying mortgages on a house that somebody's living for free. Like, cool, it can't be me. I can't do it.
I mean, no, your idea of what might not be appropriate is exactly what I would do.
Oh my goodness.
You got scared.
We've ran into the situation.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We've ran into a situation, not necessarily well, kind of, but not our property, where we were looking, what was it? It might have been like a wholesale deal or a possible fix and flip, novation, something along those lines. It was a lead down on 7th Street in Harrisburg. And Stephanie had called me and she was like, hey, like the homeowner, she lives down in Texas and she thinks that there's like squatters living in there. She's open to selling. Like, do you mind going down there, like kicking these people out, whatnot?
I told the lady.
She told me to call the cops.
I was like, I'm not going down there, but I'll see if my partner or something.
So I just, strap up real quick.
That's what you gotta do.
I told him to call the cops and something, but he was like, no, I got it. I'm going to go down there. Yeah. I was like, you gotta chill. Like, you just don't know now.
You don't know, but
I mean, there's crazies out there. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, if the cops come and they show a lease or a piece of mail with their, with their name on it, then
then it's kind of on my ass at that point. But
I'd rather get them out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy it before.
And we
buy it vacant or something.
That's the best way. That's the best way. I literally just had the issue. It was a short sale. Shout out to Bill Vance, best in the business when it comes to short sales. And it was supposed to be delivered vacant, but she was getting cash for keys. So she's getting $3,500 cash for keys at the table. So we get to the table. And I've been trying to buy this house for a year and a half, going through the short sale process.
Oh, wow.
And actually, it's sold for $41 in the market. Like, area, rancher, it was money. Contract, it was met. So at the table, she was like, listen, apartment complex denied me because you have to make 3 times the rent, and I'm on Social Security, so I don't have it. So I have to make a judgment call right then and there, like, what am I doing? Because I know my private lender will only lend if it's vacant,
right?
100%. So I'm like, what do I do? You know what I mean? It's a woman and a kid. I don't want her on the street. And so she's like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, listen, we're finishing up another project. I'm still about 3 weeks out. So, you give me a word, y'all in 3 weeks, and we can make something happen. So she's like, all right. So she got a $3,500. We close the deal. So my private money lender, maybe like a week later, hey, how's things going? How's the progress going? I'm like, what do I say? I'm like, things are good. Everything's good. Everything's good. You know what I mean? So I get a text from a couple days later. I drove by like 11 at night and the lights were on. Your contracts are working late. I was like, oh my, you know what I mean? Like,
what's he doing out there?
I didn't want to lie, but I also didn't want to shoot myself in the foot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Right.
So again, the 3 weeks hasn't passed. So I talked to my lawyer and he was like, we can draw this up. I said, blah, because she doesn't follow tenant law. She was an actual homeowner. Yeah. And if I didn't buy it through short sale, it's going to get foreclosed on. So you was going to be out regardless, honey. Right. You know what I mean? So
you was doing her a favor.
Yeah. And so I had one of my colleagues, female, she went over there to trying to talk to her. She's like, listen, blew the $3,500. I ain't got nowhere to go. Rah. So I called some people I knew. I'm like, I need a rental ASAP. ASAP. So like the day before we hit the 3 week mark when she had promised me she was going to go out, my private money lender, investor, went and knocked on the door.
Oh, shoot.
Oh my goodness. They called me spazzing out. And I'm just like, you lied. I'm like, I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
The house was vacant.
I didn't lie. I may not have told you something. Well, withholding is lying. Actually, it's not by definition. But
it's like, as long as you're getting your money, why do you care so much, right?
They do.
I know. We've experienced this too.
They do. I'm like, and let's just say it took me 6 months to get around. You're getting 6 months of interest.
Exactly.
I've never defaulted, like, if I had you, I'll write a check tomorrow. Well, we can call it a loan. We can do this. I get it. Rules are rules. Rules are rules.
Right.
But again, this is on a Sunday. So the next day, I had to throw her like $2,000, put her up in a hotel, put the dog somewhere, like.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, so I get her out. So to her word, 3 weeks later, she was out.
Yeah.
But you already done pissed off and messing up my relationship with my private money lender.
You still working with them?
That's a good question. So then this shit calls me. I'm at the hotel. They're kicking me out. I'm like, bro, like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, well, I left my appliances there. Give me $1,000 for that. And they were stainless steel appliances, but they were in terrible shape. So I reached out to my business partner, like, yo, chick is trying to like extort us. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So, but she was out, but I'm thinking.
Because you didn't even need a helper to get, the hotel and stuff. But.
Yeah.
I didn't,
that was just you being a nice guy.
The goodness of my heart, she lady and kid.
Yeah.
I try.
You don't want them on the
I try to
street.
put that good out.
Right.
So fast forward to today. The house is completely done, beautiful. We actually close on it Monday.
Okay.
Never even hit the market. She hits me today. Yesterday, today, the chick hits me. Hey, I had a lawn service set up, and they went and cut the grass, and they charged me, and now you own a home, so okay, and my account is now negative, and she's sending me screenshots.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, bruh, like
That's your fault for not canceling it.
Exactly, but she won't stop. So then I get an email like final warning, like if you don't do this, I'm going to the house. So I gotta, I'm trying to weigh the options.
Jesus.
Everybody I might go and vandalize the house. We ain't had a final walkthrough yet, so I call my business partner. I'm like, bro, what do you want to do? He's like, how much? I was like, $53, but it's the principle of the matter.
Right.
Yeah.
So
She just keeps taking and taking.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know I got a couple days left. So, you know what I mean? I cash her the money. I sent her a nice email. Like, first of all, I sent my guy there. He said the grass wasn't cut. And he sent me pictures. So either you're lying or the company's smoking you. Either way, it ain't my business. But this will be the last thing you get from me.
Yeah.
And she writes back, you don't have to be so mean. I'm like, God, like, I done put you in a hotel. Like, I done everything I could. I had to pay people to go over there. I had the dumpster out there, so I had people help her move out. I paid people to get her to U-Haul. Like, and I haven't even looked at my bottom line yet when I do my numbers on my spreadsheet. But I got another, $5,000 in costs that I wasn't even anticipating. Yeah. But that's some of the horrors that come with the game.
And the whole process of a short sale too?
It took a year and a half. Year and a half going back and forth for the bank,
I hope she sees this podcast and she just
I hope so.
can
Well,
see
I
it
unfriended her on Facebook.
from your perspective.
Or she put out an email too. You unfriended me on Facebook for some reason. Yeah, because we ain't got nothing
Wait,
to talk
why
about.
were you friends on Facebook?
I was trying to be nice to people when I was trying to get the deal. When I was trying to get the deal,
You gotta do what you got.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's sales.
So where's she at now?
I can't even call it. I can't call it. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to wipe my hands clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where's that one located?
That one is actually it's 17112.
Okay.
Rancher. I'll get the numbers on it quick.
So like Colonial Park area?
Yeah. We ended up
good.
getting it for I want to say 125.
Okay.
Pay the lost bid fee, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much is that fee? Is it roughly around $5,000?
Yeah. Anywhere between $4,000 and $5,000.
Yeah.
And then, but no, they get it done. Abba lost bid, they get it done.
Okay, that's who we used on ours.
He gets it done.
Yeah.
We probably got 50 into it.
Okay.
And it sold for $235.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good
and I
deal.
had
Flip right there.
I had it staged, and the day was gonna go to market. One of my realtors I do a lot of business with, she's like, "Yo, I got a buyer." I said, "Take them through." I said, "Don't put it on the market." I said,
Right.
"Say less."
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
It all works out sometimes. You gotta put the right energy out there.
Yeah. And how do you typically find these deals?
So there's a plethora of ways. I have, realtors. I do buy from wholesalers. I do door knock like you guys do. I don't record y'all. I'm not as entertaining as y'all, but we will knock on doors, send mailers out. But most of them, I am very, I don't like to use the word luck because you make your own luck. I'm very blessed. Like, I buy on the MLS. And I'm telling you, and I win. I buy, we're super aggressive. I'm telling you, the one, shout out to Tamela Wormsley because she hooked it up. They had like 10 showings that day, first day of the market. She was like, Jay, you got to see it. I went and saw something, shut it down. Whatever you got to do, shut it down. She called them. Here's the number. No contingencies, no nothing. Close in 10 days, cash. Shut all the showings down.
Wow.
Done deal.
So you gave them the price they were asking though?
Yeah, I gave them a couple thousand over, honestly, because I knew it was going to go higher. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I do a lot on market. And then I have realtors I have a good relationship with. So there's one in Middletown. Realtor went out to see it. Older lady, she's going into assisted living. And he shoots me a text. Hey, listen, here's the address. Here's the RPR. She'll take 70 to 80. Look at RPR. It was like 240 or 260. Okay, let me go see this.
Yeah.
So I go see it. It needs a lot, but I like it because it's 47 miles from Penn State Harrisburg.
Perfect.
Right.
My youngest daughter goes to Penn State Harrisburg.
Yeah.
So now my wheels is turning. It used to be a 2-unit. Now it's a single family. So do I renovate it, put it back to a 2? Is it a big one? I'm gonna put my daughter in there. She's gonna have all her roommates in there. Now I got to rental Penn State Harrisburg.
House like that for or something?
I'm telling you, Penn State Harrisburg has a housing shortage.
Yeah, my sister goes to Penn State Harrisburg too. So if you need more tenants.
Oh no, for real. Yeah. So that's the goal with that one. Again, that one I would buy in whole just because I'm not paying rent for my daughter's apartment. So.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Makes sense.
That's the game plan. But yeah, 80. I mean, I think I ended up tying it up at 78.5.
Okay.
And work probably 80.
Yeah.
Right, bring about 80, 85.
You're on for like 160.
Oh, yeah, so we should be good. I mean, comps 240, 260. I mean,
Yeah.
So what?
So, burr that property?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. So are you going through and using private money only on purchasing these flips? Or do you do like conventional at all?
I do either private money or institutional, but yeah, not your normal conventional stuff. I typically do not. I do not.
Gotcha.
I've thought about it on some that aren't in as bad a shape, but my whole thing is speed.
Yeah.
So I want somebody to get in there and close in like 8 to 10 days.
It just looks more attractive when you can come to the table with cash.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I've had people call me out on it because I put cash on the contract and like, well, hard money isn't cash. I was like, hard money isn't conventional. It's closer to cash than anything else. You know what I mean? You're not getting a conventional or FHA in this condition and closing in 10 days. So you have there's a lot of how do I want to say this?
Gray area.
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with realtors.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton that have no clue what they're doing. And they should not be representing somebody's biggest investment, point blank, period.
Yeah.
But then there's some good ones. But then you have 10 bad that puts a bad in for the good. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So it's like you're a seasoned agent, so you should know what hard money is at this juncture. Yeah. If you don't, I can gladly educate you.
Yeah.
But I deal with that a lot. But yeah, a lot of realtors, like I said, pocket listing before they go on the market, or they see it's distressed, they give me the first call and I'll give them an answer right away.
There you go.
Like I said, I surprisingly do very well buying off the MLS for flips. Surprisingly,
That is surprising. We've never done that actually.
I'm telling you, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I deal with some wholesalers, and I've had some wins. Like the one I'm almost done now. It came from a wholesaler, my guy Justin Mull. This is a good one. I mean, I think I paid I want to say 180, 190 for it. Probably be 50 all in, and it should sell for really close to 300, if not 300.
Wow. Yeah.
And that one, my crew has been there. We're on week 2. We'll be done next week.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We'll be done next week.
That's
So
really
some
good.
of them we get in and get out.
Yeah, you guys been moving fast.
Yeah, they get in and get out. But then I got to find more. So
Yeah, of course.
and that's the hard part. Like, I wish there were more consistent ways to buy.
Yeah.
So, and that's on me because I have to spend more time searching off market. I mean, I know what areas that I like. At this juncture, I know areas I like.
Yeah.
So I need to concentrate in those areas. Like E-Town. After that win in E-Town, I'm like, yo, I need
Buying all
anything in
E-Town.
E-Town. So I have my one friend, she has Propstream. I said, yo, run me to E-Town, send everything.
Yeah.
Send it. I mean, so it's like I'm lacking the consistency because I don't have the time to put in to find off-market deals consistently. Right. So that's the piece I'm missing right now that I have to figure out because it will make me way more successful.
Gotcha.
Now, I want to talk about credit score, like going back to like building your credit. Okay. So if someone's watching this and their credit score is pretty low, like what are some tips they can use to build that thing up?
First, the most important tip, call me.
Yep.
I'll take care of it.
We'll leave his information down below.
We provide that service. I mean, it depends what's on there. I mean, no credit is pretty much bad credit. So you want to build it. You can start building it with a secured card. You can build it by getting on your parents' card or your grandparents' card as authorized user. Depending on what you have on their neck. I mean, first of all, people don't know what's on there. So first of all, you can get it free. So let's take a look at it, kind of evaluate to see what's on there. And whatever's negative, is it real? Is it yours? If it's not, because if it's not yours, that's the easiest thing to dispute because it's not mine. Right. And you put the burden of proof on them. Prove to me that it's mine, which most people don't know or don't know how to do it. But I'll put the burden of proof on the bureaus. I need you to prove, as per the Fair Credit Act, that this is my account. Yeah. And if it is their account, there's other options too. I mean, we do a lot of pay delete because I mean, it's like, hey, this is my debt, 100%. I messed up, blah, blah, blah. And I got my tax returns. I paid everything off. My score went up 20 points. Yeah, because it's still there. So, and you just took away your leverage. So I would negotiate and say, listen, a debt collector's job is one thing. Collect the debt. So you do your job, but help me at the same time. So you want Sally to pay it? I'll get Sally to pay it. But I need you to remove it like it's never been there.
Right.
Oh, that's against our policy. Actually, it's not. And let me talk to your manager. So you talk to the right people. Right now, I have the relationships with the, National Recovery, Bureau of Account Management. I've been in this space for a long time. So, there's times you'll pay the debt, but I would never ask my client to pay a debt unless it's going to be removed, or at least get the negative codes removed. Because if not, you're doing yourself a disservice, because now you just lost your leverage. But I'd say first, let's take a look at it, see what's on there. The big thing is now is your balances. I have clients that they want to buy a house. I pull their credit, they have a 580, and they have 0 delinquencies. It's because every card they have is maxed out, and that is weighted so heavily now because you can't manage it. It used to be like 30% of your score is how you manage it. Now the number's even higher. So it's like, I've never made a payment late. I don't have collections. Agreed.
You're carrying that.
Everything is at 100%, 110%, 120%. So you're high risk, because you can't manage your finances, and that's what it screams. Right. Your credit report is your financial resume. So it's like it is scrutinized. I mean, credit, people do not understand the importance of credit. I heard something the other day. 50% of African Americans have a credit score less than 620.
50%.
50% of Latinos are not far behind. 50%. Wow. 50%. So, at the end of the day, your car insurance is higher. A lot of jobs you need to they'll pull credit. Mm-hmm. Everything you go buy a car, you're paying Lexus payment for a Mazda because your credit is jacked, and then you can't buy a house. Then you got to rent, and then sometimes with rent cracking down, you're looking at your credit. So it's
just kind of spirals down.
Oh, your whole life. And then once you go down that rabbit hole, it's hard to get out,
right?
Especially without help. And there's not. And again, this could be my opinion. I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know a lot of professional services that offer the help to get you out of there. You know what I mean?
I don't.
No. I got a funny story to say, actually.
Sure.
Related to credit. This just happened. We're still actually going through the process. Currently going through a refinance on our 5-unit apartment building, right? So we were expected to close on May 10th. Being pushed back a little bit just because appraisal took a little longer than expected. But I also have a car loan through the Members First, is who we bank with. So our business bank is there, my car loan's in there. And
credit unions are good.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, it's been pretty good. But over for the month of February and April, the teller had actually messed up. And I went in there to make my car payment, and they took that car payment and put it towards our business credit cards versus paying down the car payment, right? So I got a call on, sorry. So I make my payments on the 14th. I got a call on April 15th from the Members First headquarters. They're like, hey, we saw you just missed 2 payments, 2 late payments. I was like, no, I was just in there yesterday. Got it called up, everything's good to go. I'd actually missed February, that was on me.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I was like, that was my fault, whatnot. But I paid both of them in full and everything, late fees, whatnot. And then she was like, okay, probably just haven't updated in our system yet. I was like, yeah, no, it's all good. Understand, takes a couple days. And then about 2 weeks go by, and we're now in the beginning of May, and I get a call from Members First headquarters again. They're like, hey, you've racked up $300 of late fees, plus you still haven't paid the months of February and April, or March and April. Yeah, last time they thought I paid was February 29th, right, for whatever reason. And I was like, what are you talking about? I made that payment, and they're like, no, it's still showing as delinquent. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, are you able to look into it? And I pulled up my my bank balance, from my personal account, and showed them, or not showed them, but saw it there.
On this date.
Right. I was like, on this date, I paid this amount towards, to this bank. And they were looking through all of our accounts, checking our savings, checkings, everything, right? They're like, I don't see it. I was like, well, where'd my money go?
Disappear.
Right. He was like, I can't do anything about it. I was like, you work for the bank. I was like, what do you mean you can't do anything about it? Where's my money, right? He was like, you got to go talk to your branch manager, whatever branch you bank with. And I go to Lingelstown Road. And we actually have a really good relationship with the branch manager over there. Yeah. So I go ahead and I actually walk into the branch. I don't even call him. I'm like, no, I'm going to figure this out, right? So I go in there and I talk to them about it and everything. They're like, yeah, we don't know. We have no evidence of you paying this. I was like, look at my fucking bank statement. I was like, it's right here. Yeah. They're like, we can't find your receipt. There's slips in the back, and they're so unorganized. I looked around the corner, I saw they just have papers everywhere. I'm like,
piles of paper.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And they're like, don't worry, like we'll do some investigation, like go back, look at the CVC cameras, make sure that you were in here on this day, paid it, everything. I was like, yeah, I was here at this time on this day. Like go back, check it. It should be pretty easy. Like, all right, we'll see who was your teller and get all that figured out. So, all right, cool. So they actually called me back. I believe it was just the following day. So they were pretty proactive with it. And they're like, turns out they took that money and versus putting it towards your car, they had actually put it towards your business credit card. I was like, okay, is there any way that we can get that reversed? Because I just don't want it to impact my credit negatively. They're like, yeah. We'll go ahead and get that reversed and, cancel all the late fees and everything. I was like, all right, perfect. Good to go. And then I checked my credit score. Was it yesterday that I was on the phone from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked my credit score yesterday morning. 99 points deducted.
Yeah.
So I went from a 730 to a 631.
That sounds about right.
I was like, oh no, this is an issue.
But they are going to adjust it, right?
Well, so here's the thing. So I go ahead and I call the refi guy that we're going with, and he was on the phone with him, like explaining this whole situation. He was like, that's not good. It was like, this is like the worst timing possible for this to happen. I was like, right. So I was like, what do I do? He was like, well, if your credit score is not above a 700, you need to have $25,000 in a separate bank account for reserves in order to do this refi.
And everyone knows we're broke right now.
Yeah, we have no money. Like we don't have capital just sitting on the side for reserves. Like we're all in right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's not an option. I was like, so what else you got? He was like, well, you need to go ahead and call TransUnion. You need to go ahead and call Equifax. You need to go ahead and call Experian. Yep, exactly. I was like, all right, I'm on the phone yesterday speaking to these damn robots for, bro, like 4 hours
Why not
straight.
make members first fix it?
Right. So I had blown up that guy's phone, and
That's the easiest, quickest way.
exactly. So I blow him up like early on in the day before I give them a call whatsoever. And text message, calls, nothing. Call the actual headquarters again. They transfer me to the branch, nothing. They give me the branch's number. Call the branch about 50 times, nothing. Leave a voicemail, nothing. Right. So I would go through the whole process of talking to TransUnion, Equifax, all of them. And basically I kept getting the same answer. They're like, we can't do anything. If you want us to, send something to your bank, like expect like a 30, 60, 90 days until this gets resolved. I was like, I need this done by Friday, man. I was like, that's not an option. I need it done now. They're like, yeah, I mean, you got to go talk to your lender. I was like, I've been trying.
Yeah, but a lender's not going to fix it. Members first has to.
Members first. That's that's what they called the lender.
Got it. I thought you meant lender from the refi.
Yeah, no.
Because our balloon payment is June 12th.
Right, so that's coming up. We're like, no, like we need to get this thing rolling. I don't got 90 days to wait. And so finally, my the branch manager, he calls me back. He's just like, I go ahead and explain the whole situation to him. He was like, yeah, my bad. He was like, I totally missed all your calls, texts, everything. I was like, bullshit. But, whatever. And then, because he told me in the beginning, he was like, this shouldn't have an effect on your credit score just because our bank is really lazy. He was like, we don't, file everything to the credit bureau right away, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, all right, that's fine. But then I noticed that. So I'm like, no, like, you guys are wrong. You filed it. I was like, I need you to do something now. And I told him about like the whole refi process and everything and how it's going to affect it. He was like, nah, like I'm going to go ahead and call like my supervisors, get this all situated for you because I don't want it to affect you. I was like, all right, perfect. He calls me back like 10 minutes later. He was like, it'll be done in 2 to 3 days. I was like, that's what I like to hear.
I just say they have the power to do it. They can do it way quicker. I mean, the credit bureaus, the best way to describe it, they're like chalkboards.
Okay.
And your members first, your companies just write information down. So all they do is data collect. So, at the end of the day, yes, we can dispute through there, but you call TransUnion to dispute, they're going to call members first. Yeah. And members first say, according to our records, it was late. So that's why you go straight to the horse's mouth. That's be way, way quicker.
Right.
They control the information the credit bureaus are getting.
Okay.
And then you're telling them that they need to show like the 25 grand, like they need to help us
I
out.
told him, I was like, listen, if this doesn't get fixed by the time of the refi, I was like, I expect you to throw in my bank account 25 grand.
So they can put a freeze on it. I don't need to spend
I was like, I don't care what you do. I was like, I need that 25 grand if need be.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, we're going to get this figured out. I'm like, all right, you better. You about to lose 25 grand.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So no, it was quite the hassle. I mean, my credit score is still at a 631. So
I mean, once they made the corrections,
right.
it'll go back up. But no, I'm telling you, credit is so vital.
Right.
Yeah.
People just don't get it. They don't understand. I tell everybody, automate your life. We all live busy lives. Put everything on auto pay, bill pay. So automatically, that we don't. I learned a long time ago. You don't leave things to chance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you automate everything. So you know when you're, especially if you're in a W-2 job, you know your pay cycle.
Right.
So just staggered after your pay cycle, half the bills go out this one, you pay twice a month, half go out there. Boom.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to budget when you have that same amount coming in
100%.
frequently.
But when you're an entrepreneur and you're self-employed and, you know, you might make 20, 30 here and then, you know,
Right.
drop for a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, as an entrepreneur, it's a lot harder, but I mean, it can be done.
Yeah, it messes with the W-2 income too when you're actually then throwing that money into your entrepreneurial ventures. So like we need help with rehab and we don't have the money. And it's like, all right, here's my last paycheck. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my car payment now.
But you're investing in yourself, which is always a good thing.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. I love that. You're investing in yourself and, you know, double down. At the end of the day, you know what you're capable of, you know what your potential is. So it might be some blood, sweat, and tears to get there, but you're gonna get there.
Yeah. And it's been rough, but I mean, obviously, I think we're doing pretty good compared to
Just building that momentum.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we're at 14 doors now.
That's exciting. How do you typically fund yours?
Private money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time, just simple burst strategy.
Okay.
So, I mean, everything's gone well so far. We still have 4 properties with private money. The one of them being that 5 unit that we're refining.
Who do you typically use when you refi out?
That's a good question. We've been really
Dabbling.
testing. We haven't had a consecutive
Who's
refi.
on the 5 unit? I don't know. Commercial gets a lot. 4 and under is a lot easier than 5 and up.
We look this up all the time.
Well, I can show you after the podcast.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, because I don't know off the top of my head. It's bad that we don't know.
It is,
Because we
I'm
went
telling you, it is
through-
way. And I mean, I'm sure you know from experience. It is way easier to refi your 4 and down than 5 and up because once it hits commercial,
Oh, the numbers,
oh my
everything.
goodness, and then it jump through hoops. Yeah, commercial
Yeah.
gets rough. Commercial gets rough.
It does. And appraisal's a lot more expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do we use for our 2 unit?
We used 717 mortgage group.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to use members first?
Oh no,
Credit?
the issue with members first is that, so I went through and they have their mortgage guy. His name is Lou, super cool guy. But I went through and talked to him. I was like, hey, I'm just looking to do a refi on this property.
What's the last name?
Do you remember his last name?
Molly.
Boo.
I think so.
I know.
I don't know.
Lou.
Right.
Yeah.
So I talked to Lou. I was like,
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
he is. He's great. So I was like, hey, bought this property, you know, did a rehab and everything, just looking to do a cash out refi. He was like, all right, no, that sounds good. And a couple days go by and he reaches back out to me. He was like, I saw you just purchased property like 6 months ago. I was like, yeah. He was like, well, for our appraisal, he was like, we go based off of if this property was bought within the last 3 years, the price you paid for that property during that time is what it's going to come back at. I was like,
For 3 years?
for 3 years.
Yeah,
but I was
we
like,
can't
but
do
I,
that.
I was like,
retarded.
right, but I was
Yeah.
like, we put 25 grand worth of work into it. Like, why wouldn't that increase the value? He was like, I'm sure it does. He was like, but we don't do that.
That's their guideline.
Yeah, their guidelines. So I'm like, all right, well, can never use members first.
Yeah.
That's 3 years.
Yeah, because I'm not holding private money for 3 years
No.
long.
That's crazy. I never
Yeah.
knew that. That's wild.
Yeah, so I mean, that was one downfall of them, but we definitely do have to reach out, you know, talk to more banks, federal credit unions.
Do you use the same one now for each one, or?
No, because rules change, guidelines change. I mean, I hate, especially in the first 6 months, because it's going to the first 6 months, they're going to go off of appraised value, purchase price, whichever is less.
Right.
So you got to hold at least 6 months. But yeah, I mean, to me, whoever's going to have the best rate, you know, rate of service. But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
They make it too difficult.
Yeah.
On our
no
commercial,
reason.
loan, they quoted us at 9.25, right?
Yeah. I mean, they let us choose. It was like,
It was either 9.25
High
or
eights.
8 3/4.
and they look at all docs, or mid 9s with no docs.
I like that. I like it. At least you got
Yeah.
options. I like that. Actually, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
So we were like, no docs.
No dogs. And it was actually higher cash back as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's quicker, cleaner. No, I like that. That's actually good. What bank is that?
That was that one we were just talking about.
Yeah, let me know about that.
We'll let you know. Yeah. But
That's good.
so we talked about your goal, 40 flips this year. You got anything else you're kind of striving towards?
As far as goal from a goal standpoint.
Yeah, personal,
Oh
career.
yeah. I have some monetary goals. 100%. I got some monetary goals that I need to hit. Got some fitness goals. I'm currently dieting. Ooh, so it's a little rough. Yeah, I'm on a carnivore diet.
No way. Nate is,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So yeah, we got to talk. We got to talk. Because I I work all the time. I live a very stressful life. I deal with realtors. No offense. So it's like,
I don't claim to be a realtor.
I like. There's a lot of networking events. There's a lot of happy hours. So I'm a vodka guy. I'm a Tito's guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, doing the whole diet thing and not drinking, it's a little rough. You know, I tell everybody, you know, I drink, so I don't put my hands on people. So now I gotta figure something else out. But no, I'm dedicated now. Like I said, doing the carnivore diet. Just trying to 44. I'm not getting any younger. So just, you know, fitness goals, and I got some, you know, work goals. So yeah, I'm very goal oriented. Nice. You know, you gotta strive for something. So yeah, I'm a big fan of write your goals down, or you know, it's just a daydream, and just, you know, work towards it. But, you know, I'm all about SMART goals, because people, you know, throw some number in the sky and then they get upset when they don't hit it. Like, no, it was never realistic. It has to be realistic. So yeah. Definitely got some goals of, you know, at 44, you know, there's still things that I want to do, or that I think I should have done already. So it's like, you know, I want to make a certain amount. The 40 flips. I have some mortgage goals as far as how many million I'm going to do for the year. But yeah, I mean, the one I'm chasing the most is, you know, get the 40 flips done this year in 24, get healthier, spend more time with the family. And just kind of go and grow from there. I want to scale. And when it comes to flipping, it's hard to do. So me and Noah had this conversation all the time. It is very hard for this business model to scale. So, I mean, I'm doing it because now I'm doing 2 different geographic locations with 2 different crews, 2 different teams. So I am doing it. But, you know, how do you, A, maintain that, and B, you know, if I do, you know, when I do 40 this year, and then I want to do 60, 80 next year, what does that look like? Am I picking another geographic location? Am I hiring more crews? So, you know, the goal is to put the pieces in place. You know, and again, one of the major things is inventory, because, you know, you can have 2 or 3 crews running. If they don't have a house to work on, then you're in trouble. I'm actually doing something new and crazy. I never would have thought that I would flip a mobile home. Just never would have thought it. It was never. If you would have asked me that, I'd be like, yo, you're crazy. I'm not doing that. And then I get a call from Noah, and he's like, hey, you know, we just got a mobile home. I was like, all right, you know, hold my beer. So yeah, I'm ready to go. So then not only that, I tell, you know, some of the realtors I deal with, I work with a couple different teams. And I told them, you know, about to flip a mobile home. And they were like, serious? I'm like, yeah. So then the next day, I get a call from one of them. Hey, I got a mobile home for you. And I was like, what? And it's in Granville, right across the street from the track. So Lower Dolphin School District. And it's like,
we're very familiar with that.
Okay. I'm not at all. So I'm just like, all right. So I went and see it. I went and saw it. 10 grand. So I'm like, 10 grand. She had just sold some in the same park for 50 to 60. So the goal is, you know, buy for 10, put about 12 to 15 in, and double up. So I went from, I would never flip a mobile home, and now I'm doing 2. So
there you go.
So something different. I like to challenge myself, and it's definitely gonna be a challenge. I never saw myself doing it. So, you know,
we had one out in Granville a while ago. We could have called you.
How'd it go? Oh, you just sold it? You didn't flip it?
We just cleaned it out, and then we sold it. We put a for sale by owner sign and got a buyer for it. I don't want to put this. It's like, you know, there's certain things that I know. I don't like doing things I'm not good at. Nobody does. But you have to, you know, be uncomfortable. That's the only way we grow. So, you know, flipping a mobile home, I am very uncomfortable. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? I lose 10, 20 grand. I've done it before, you know what I mean? So we're going to rock out. And at the end of the day, there's still a housing shortage. People need a place to live. And, you know, in the back of my mind, I always think, worst case scenario, I'll just rent it out. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not going to lose. I will, you know what I mean? Just like the bar method, you know, take care of your private money investor and do what you want with the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well,
Jay, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, I appreciate the time.
We truly appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Of course. And I will continue to watch you grow and watch your story.
Yes. Well, we're going to continue to watch you. And
anything you got that y'all don't want, let me know.
For sure.
And I need that lender, too.
Oh, yeah. We got you with that. And if you guys want to connect with Jay for any mortgage needs or, you know, whatever, financial advice, if you need that as well, we'll make sure to leave his credit card advice,
I got you.
Literally everything. One-stop shop right here. So we'll make sure to leave his information down below. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.